Hey there, clan, and welcome to Ask the Warrior for the 8th of June 2015. If you don't know, I asked you to submit questions for Ask the Warrior. I did, of course, restrict to no Bioware questions, unless they're other silly questions. And now I'm going to go through them. I only got really questions through the comment section. I did check my Gmail, I didn't get any there. Didn't get any on Facebook. So we're going to go through the comment section, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to go through my Twitter questions where I asked people to submit via a specific hashtag. And that hashtag was GingerVenyLoveTree. Because I'm a creepy bastard, and that's why. And just give me one quick moment. I'm just going to edit the camera with magic. Oh, that's not magic. That's wrong kind of magic. There we are. That's how I do. I want to get this shirt in a view because it's an awesome shirt. We're going to go through the questions that I got on the video, and let's dive into them. Right, let's get right on them and get right into them. The first question comes from Ictius Hypnosis. What is your favorite Nintendo franchise, and what do you want to see for their next console? Also, what character would you like to see in Super Smash Bros? Well, firstly, I'm not a big Nintendo person. As I say, my favorite Nintendo franchise is probably Pokemon. That's no secret. I absolutely love Pokemon. It's been that is probably one of the earliest games I remember playing on my Game Boy. The original Game Boy, not the Game Boy Color. So I only had black and white. I didn't have color. Or green and black as it was. But Pokemon is probably my favorite. That's the one that holds the most memories with me, at least. I've played pretty much every iteration of a Pokemon game on the Game Boy, on the handhelds at least. From Pokemon Black, Red and Blue, Yellow, Emerald, Silver, Gold, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire. Pretty much every single one, up to the most recent one. I actually have them over there. Pokemon Black, Pokemon X, Pokemon Black 2. Basically any Pokemon with each generation I've probably played them. I've even played some of the console ones, most notably Colosseum, which I actually think is a really good Pokemon game. It's the closest thing we're going to get to a Pokemon game on the consoles anyway, to the extent of which we wanted to anyway. I'm still holding out hope that one day we'll get a proper Pokemon RPG in a way on consoles. It won't happen anytime soon because it is probably an extremely complicated thing, but that's the kind of that's probably my favorite Nintendo franchise. I don't own a Wii U, so I haven't played any of the new games on that, but I have heard the Wii U is actually really good from what I've heard, as some of the games on it are actually outstanding from what I've heard. So I do intend to pick up a Wii U at some point, but in all honesty, I'm pretty sure it's right now off the bat that the Wii U is kind of dying on its arse, from what I've heard. I really think Nintendo probably should just maybe either go to a new console and concentrate on, get rid of the stupid gimmicks like motion controls and all that crap, and actually concentrate on making a console. As for Super Smash Bros, I haven't played one since the one on the GameCube, I'd like to say. Yeah, I think that's the last one I played. So I hope that answers your question. Let's dive into the next one. Next one comes from Youth Yap TV. First question: what are you most looking forward to from E3? I am going to be doing a video on E3, at least my anticipations for E3, what I think and would like to see. I do have a couple of things I'd like to see. I'm not too sure I want to say them out right now. Some of them are blatantly obvious, of course. I'd love to Fallout 4, and of course the BioWare, of course, I always keep an eye on them. CD Projekt Red. There are a few others, but I want to do a proper video talking about my full anticipations on what I'd like to see at E3, basically. So keep an eye on the channel. Maybe sometime this week. I'm not 100% sure when I will get around to actually filming it. I'm kind of busy, unfortunately, with the of course Witcher 3. I still have another video to edit, and then I actually am getting close to the end game, so I need to record that. So yeah, keep an eye on the channel. And now Youth Yap's silly question: which Mass Effect character would you spend 1 week locked in a room with? Right. What character? Well, I'm rolling at Jacob and Caden. I wouldn't do Ashley. I wouldn't want to be locked in a room with her just for reasons. I don't know. I think she'd break me in like a week. I'd come out broken. Let's just say that much. No, we're not. No, this is nothing sexual, by the way. It's just locked in a room. Whatever happens in that room is between me and the Mass Effect character. So you will never know what happened in that room. Only me and that person will know. So sorry. Some people think Tali. I don't think I'd like to be locked in a room with Tali. Even though I do, she is probably up there with one of my favourite characters from the series. I just don't know if she'd be... I don't know if I could be locked in a room with her for a week, in all honesty. I think eventually she'd get on my nerves. Samara, while I love her, would definitely be a preachy person and probably would just sit there and meditate for the entire week while I sit there and go, so... got any good stories? Rex would want to fight me, and while I probably would maybe accept a fight with him, he'd break me. Same with Rex. Grunt and Rex would break me in half. Garrus, nah, I love Garrus, but I don't think I could spend a week locked in a room with just him. It's a tough one. Definitely not Jack. I would get on Jack's nerve that she would destroy me. In every sense. So would you just open the door and it would just be me all over the walls. I'd be like... Miranda, no, it's a bit pompous for my liking. No, I'm kidding. I love Miranda, but I don't think I'd like to be locked in a room. In all honesty, it's probably going to be Liara. Just because of the fact that I think I get along with her the most. Not in a romantic sense. I'd say one of my Shepherd's Dead romancer, and I do think that she is one of the best romances in the game, at least, from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 3, and her romance is actually probably one of my favourites, when Mass Effect 3 comes out, of course. I can't wait to see what the conclusion to that is. But... I am actually, I think I would actually get along with Liara, because I think it wouldn't just be like, let's fucking shag for a few weeks. I think we'd actually get along. I think Liara is one of the characters I'd actually get along with the most, having a nice conversation with, a nice discussion with, and all that. But at the same time, Samantha Trainor's also very tempting, because I actually really like Samantha Trainor. She is definitely one of my favourite characters from that game that has not come out yet. And of course, I love Alexander Walton's Regan's voice, so I can have the Inquisitor there while I'm at it. So it's a toss-up between Liara and Samantha Trainor from Odyssey, because there's so many good characters. There's just too many to pick. So I hope that answers your question. Next question from Arcus is, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel? I've been asked this so many times, but I will happily answer it this time for any new people with us. I just did it. I don't know why I started it. I just did it. I did watch YouTubers beforehand. I watched YouTubers like Darkside Phil and various other ones. Total Biscuit, of course, and all that. But I just wanted to make videos, in all honesty. It just kind of felt like something to do. I was bored. I'm pretty sure I've told a different story each single time anyone asks me that. You'll have to figure out which one is true. That's a joke. Next question from Arcus is, what are the things you like and dislike about the PS4? So far, the PS4 is good. I like the PS4. I have very little complaints for it. If I had to say my main complaint, I'm still not 100% keen on the controller. Mostly this little thing. This little touchpad thing they've got here, I'm still not keen on that. I know what they were going with when they made it, but I'm not too keen on it. It still feels weird to me whenever I'm playing it. But otherwise, the controller is fine. The console's good. So far, I really have no complaints with the PS4. Beyond that, it's a good console. It's actually very good. Good software, good hardware. The control thing's my only real complaint. The settings are fine. Sony are doing a good job with the PS4, so I have really no complaints. So that's the only thing I kind of dislike about it. Overall, I like the PS4. The shape's a little wonky for me personally. So I hope that answers your question, Arcist. Next question comes from Dark Snake 95. First question, serious one. How are you enjoying Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition so far? If nobody knows what he's talking about these bad boys. These books. The Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. This is the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons, the tabletop series that has been around since the, I think, late 60s, if not earlier. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I have all 3 of the main core books and one other one, the Rise of Tiamat. This is an adventure book. I picked this up because it was cheap, and I'm going to be stealing stuff out of it for campaigns when I eventually do them. I've read these books quite a bit, most notably the Player's Handbook. This has basically everything you need to know to play the game. The Monster Manual just gives you monsters, and the Dungeon Master Guide is actually... I would actually recommend the Dungeon Master Guide to anyone if you're looking to play 5th edition, even if you're not DMing, because this actually gives you a lot of good tips on DMing, but I'll get to that in a moment. I've basically read through this thing pretty much back to front a few times now because I actually really like it. I actually really like the 5th edition style. It's very simple. It still has layers of complexity to it, but at the same time, it's still very simple, easy to pick up, and I really am enjoying it. I just say, but that being said, I'm not an expert on D&D. I'm not. I did try. I do actually have these 2nd edition books. I will grab them. I'll grab the Player's Handbook. I have the 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons books, all 3 of them, the DMG, the Monsters Manual, and that. So I have 2 different editions of Dungeons and Dragons, and I honestly kind of prefer Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, even though I know this is the hardcore Dungeons and Dragons for people. I know this is meant to be hardcore, but I like 5th edition. I really, really do. From what I read, and I've only played a little bit of it with a couple of clan members, a couple of subscribers, and I've watched it quite a bit with, of course, the Geek and Sundry team on Twitch with Matt Mercer and the lovely cast of Critical Role, which they are doing a phenomenal job, and I can't wait for this week's episode. But I am really liking 5th edition, and it's making me... I have a craving to actually play a 5th edition campaign. I know... right now, I can't, unfortunately. I don't know that many people who'd be willing to do a lengthy campaign with me in my area. And nothing against doing it online. As I say, I do the Dragon Age D&D online. But at the same time, I kind of just want to get a group of people together and actually just sit at a table and actually roll physical dice and actually play it like that. Not the way it was originally done. But don't get me wrong, if it comes down to it, I will look for a group online to play with. Whether it be a player or a dungeon master. I've only ever been a dungeon master. Right? I've only been... well, I lie. I have been a player in a one-shot on Roll20. There was a group looking for one person, and they said they were going to try and do it bi-weekly. Then they never go back to me, so joy of joys. But I have only ever really been a dungeon master. And I love it. I love being a dungeon master. I get to be the god of the world, but at the same time, I have rolled up at least a dozen characters from this bloody book, and I can't play any of them because I don't know people to play with in my area. But at the same time, I don't mind being a dungeon master. I really do like it. I like creating things. I like rolling up a little campaign for my players to. As I say, with Dragon Age D&D, I have written out. I have a gigabyte of notes for that alone. And I'm really liking being a dungeon master, creating this world, setting things up and letting people go out in my sandbox and destroy and pillage and do whatever the hell they want with it. I like that, and I actually don't mind it. But at the same time, I would like to be a player sometime. But that being said, even though it's a different system, this guide has actually been really helpful for my planning for Dungeons and for Dragon Age D&D. It really has, in all honesty. It's just been an absolute treat, and I have to thank Mr. Matt Mercer for getting me to actually use this a bit more seriously, because it has some amazing stuff in it that actually is really helpful for any system, in my opinion. I don't know many, as it is, but this is this. But I'm actually loving 5th edition D&D, and I really want to play a proper campaign in it with a group of people around a table and roll some freaking dice. But who knows? I'll have to wait and see when I have more free time. Maybe in the future I will actually get to be a player instead of a dungeon master. But if you're looking to get into D&D, pick these books up. Now I will say, admittedly, each of these books, they're 30 quid each. They're £30 each. So yeah, that's £90 I spent on these books, and I had to save up for them. I didn't get them all at once. Before you ask, I got this one first, then I got the Monsters Manual, then I got the Dungeon Master's Guide. I literally had to get these out every second month or something with a little money I saved up. But I would recommend, if you're looking to get into 5th edition, or D&D in general, start with 5th edition, because it is very, very, very newcomer friendly. I'll say that much. It's also very fun. From what little I've played, I play more, I would highly recommend this. I really would. I love 5th edition so far, and I want to actually be a player in it one day, and actually be, and then maybe even have a proper campaign running in 5th edition, in the 5th edition rule set. We will wait and see what happens in the future, and I'm going to give a little shout out. Of course, I've already given them that, but if you haven't been watching the Critical Role Dungeons and Dragons campaign on Geek and Sundry, it's run by Matt Mercer and a whole host of voice actors. they're playing a 5th edition campaign that they've been playing for 2 years, I think now, and they're just continuing on for it, and it's freaking amazing. I literally have not missed an episode since it started. I absolutely love it. And just to let, if you need to be sold on it more, Ashley Johnson, the voice of Ellie, the voice of Terra, the voice of many other characters I cannot remember, is in it, and she plays this character, Pike. She's the healer. It's hilarious. But if you've not watched any of these aren't like people's names except for Matt Mercer. These are actually the character names: Percy, Keyleth, Tiberius, Scanlan, Pike, Grog, Vax, Vex, and Trinket, who's a bear. But if you've not watched Critical Role, highly recommend it, especially if you want to try and get into D&D, because I tell you right now, watching that Critical Role show has sparked something in me, and it just makes me want to play more D&D. And also, Matt Mercer is an awesome DM, and I can only hope to be as good as him one day, because he's fantastic. Like, he's amazing. I bow down to his superiority of DMing. And he also, I will happily admit, he gave some absolutely amazing DM tips that I've actually taken to heart and actually worked with, and I thank him for that. And he's never going to watch this, but I thank him for that, and I really do appreciate it, because he gave me some tips to help, not directly to me, on a stream. He gave some tips to players who want to DM. Here's my tips, here's how I did it, hopefully it works out for you. And I've taken those tips into heart, so I thank him for that, because he's awesome, and I can't wait for this week's Critical Role, because I'm hyped. I'll say that much. Next question, Dark Snake's silly question is, if the Witcher universe was to ever cross over, if the Dragon Age universe thought of the conjunction of the spheres, how do you see that working? So you're asking if the Dragon Age universe and the Witcher universe ever crossed over, what would happen? Well, let me think about that. Everyone would die. That's... here's the thing. I don't know how you would get those two universes to work, because even though they have some similarities, they're dark fantasy settings, they're also two completely different settings. Most notably with the magic. In the Dragon Age universe, magic is from the Fade. It's from the essence of magic is there, but you have the possibility to be possessed. In the Witch universe, there's no such thing as... You can't be... There's no possession. There's magic. There. Done. They're too different, I think, to actually mesh. And let's face it, Witcher is like this is Dragon Age level of dark and depressing. This is Witcher. Like, Witcher's like on another whole other fucking level past the screen. Dragon Age, while I love it, I absolutely love it. Compared to Witcher, it's very, very, very tame. Even though what Dragon Age does touch upon very sensitive topics as well, they're more subtle about it. They're actually, I do like subtlety when it comes to my stories. I would really do. So Dragon Age definitely has up there with Witcher, because Witcher, while it does have subtlety in some instances, most of the time it just takes a bloody sword, it unsheaths it, and it's like, welcome to the world, bitch. Defend yourself. Whack, whack, whack. You're dead. Deal with it, bitch. Like, yeah, the Witcher world is not, like... The Dragon Age is cake, is the Candyland of fantasy compared to Witcher. Now, that's not being said, if a really talented group of writers could get together, maybe the Dragon Age writers and the Witcher writers could get together and try and make it work, maybe, but it'd be one hell of an undertaking, and I do not envy the person who would have that job. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to see the Geralt of Rivia have a drinking contest with Oberyn and Iron Bull. I would pay to see that. In fact, we need to make that happen. People get the voice actor. Get Steve Bloom, Freddie Prinze Jr. and the voice actor for Geralt, whose name I cannot remember. I'm sorry, dude, I do apologise. Get them. I want to see that video now. I want to see they three in a drinking contest. I want to see Geralt, Iron Bull, and Oberyn in a drinking contest. I want to see that. Someone do it, please. I'd love to see that, but never going to happen. It would take a really talented group of writers to do that, if you ask me, personally. I'd like to see it, but at the same time, I think the two of them are too vastly different to actually be able to work together. I also think some Dragon Age characters if they were dropped into the Witcher realm, would be dead in a day. I'm not kidding, they would be dead in a day. Because here's the thing, if you're not a Witcher in the Witcher setting, you're dead! Or a sorceress, you're dead! Even if you're a politician, you're dead! A king, you're dead! The Witchers are practically the only ones that can have a chance to survive. So yeah, I don't think a lot of Dragon Age characters would survive long in the Witcher world, if you ask me. Hope that answers the question. Moving on to the next set of questions, which comes from Zevran08. If you could make the next Witcher game, what would you want it to be about? Who would you want to be the main character? Someone established from the books or games, or a custom character? Now, I'll state this right now, I haven't read every single Witcher book. I've only read The Last Wish, and I'm halfway through Blood of Elves, but I haven't actually finished it. I'm actually thinking about maybe stopping reading that now, until I can get Sword of Destiny, which is the second book in the series, actually. Read that, and then move on to Blood Elves. But I'm debating that right now. I need to have a little bit of a think about it. Now, in all honesty, I haven't finished Witcher 3 yet, so I can't say much what I would want in the next Witcher game. But I think CD Projekt Red have made it pretty clear that after this, they're pretty much done with the Witcher setting, I'm pretty sure. Now, they may change their mind in the future. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I think after Witcher 3, which I know is the end of Geralt's story, I would actually like them to maybe either go a couple of hundred years in the future or go a couple of hundred years in the past to when the Witchers were actually an army, basically. Like, there were more Witchers where you get to create your own Witcher and tell your own story that way. Like, you're a new Witcher, freshly graduated from the Witcher Academy. You're not an established character or anything. And it would probably have to be after the events of Witcher 3, in all honesty. Like, maybe a couple of centuries after it. I don't know what happens at the end of it, so I don't know who's alive and who's dead. But I definitely think that if they were to do another Witcher game, it would have to be a good while after the events of Witcher 3. And then maybe the Witchers have actually started to come back. Maybe there are new Witchers out there, and your character is one of them, male or female. I actually think that actually is quite important. I don't think we've actually ever seen a female Witcher in the games. I do know Ciri is the closest thing we have to a female Witcher. She went through all the training, she just didn't go through the mutations. So I definitely think that if there is going to be another Witcher game, it should be a full-fledged RPG where you get to create your own character, male or female, and actually play through a nice, new, interesting story. It would also give CD Projekt Red more free reign, basically. While the Witcher series of games is they have free reign with it, basically with the characters to an extent, because they have to keep the characters in line with the books, while at the same time also advancing on them a little bit. I definitely think that if they would be able to give their own character, they'd be able to make new characters, establish them, and be able to let Geralt, Triss, and all the other characters retire. Because, damn, they need to retire. I think that if they were going to do another Witcher game, it would have to be a full-fledged RPG. I would like them to do that. I don't know what else to do, but I do know that after Witcher 3, they are concentrating on Cyberpunk 2077, which I'm super hyped for. So, yeah, that's what I'd like to see. Zevran's next question is, what would you prefer to have? Augmentation, biotics, magic, or bending? Augmentations are out of the bat. Don't get me wrong, in all honesty, if I could get some kind of augmentation, I'd probably go with some eyes, because as you can see, yeah, I got a little bit of a fucked up eye. I got fucked up eyes. So I would like this eye fixed and all. That's a personal thing. I actually wouldn't mind getting this eye fixed one day. But I don't think I'd like augmentations. I'd just think while they're powerful, I still would like to remain human to an extent. What were the other two options? There was biotics, magic, or bending. Magic, I don't know about. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure I could do a lot with magic, but I'd probably fuck something up pretty badly, so I think magic's off the table. Biotics, too many implants. I would probably, in all honesty, go with bending from the Avatar series. For those who don't know what it is, it's based in the Avatar universe. You bend the elements. Earth, wind, fire, and air. Earth, fire, water, and air. And yeah, I'd be a bender. And if you're from the UK, I hope you enjoyed that little laughter there. But I'd want to be one of the benders. I don't know what element I would be. I'd like to be the Avatar in all honesty, but I don't know, I've always had a bit of an affinity with water. I would definitely think I'd like to be a waterbender. At least that. I think waterbending is a very interesting bending style. It's, if you don't know, waterbending in the Avatar universe is actually based on Tai Chi. Loosely based on it. There are some diversions for it, but it's a nice, relaxing, calm thing. If you don't know anything about Tai Chi, Tai Chi is one of the hardest martial arts to master due to the fact that it's much more subtle and relaxed, and you're being very cautious with it. But here's the thing. You don't fuck with a Tai Chi master. He will kick your fucking ass so hard you will wish you were dead. Tai Chi is one of the most respected martial arts, I do believe. And waterbending has always been the bending I kind of like the most in the Avatar universe. Don't get me wrong, I like firebending, airbending, and earthbending. But I think waterbending would be pretty awesome to have, in all honesty. So I'd like to be a bender, in all honesty. So I've answered your question, Severin. And we're moving on to the next set of questions, which comes from Paragade. Serious question. Are you hyped for the next Fire Emblem game that is on its way? I'm excited for it. I'm not hyped for it. I did love the previous Fire Emblem game on DS, Fire Emblem Awakening. Absolutely loved it. First ever tactical RPG I ever played. Fell in love with it right off the bat. Absolutely loved it. Still haven't completed it on permadeath mode because fuck that shit. I don't like it. I am excited for it, but I'm not getting too hyped for it. I will wait for it to come out. I'm not hooked on the series just yet, I'll be honest. But I actually do want to play the other games in the series just a little bit. But unfortunately, they're actually pretty expensive to get, hard to get hold of, apparently. But I am excited for it. I'm being patient, though. I will wait and see what happens. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. Silly question. Would you rather be drunk under a table by Dandelion or Tolton and his parrot from Witcher 3? Haven't came across Tolton and his parrot, so I'd probably have to go drunk under the table by Dandelion. Because he could drink me under the table because I don't drink alcohol. So if he challenged me to it, I would simply be like, you win, I'll go under the table, bye. I don't drink. Sorry. I do apologise about the glare and all that, but I'm reading the questions off the computer. I'm out of print paper, so sorry. So I hope that answers your question. Next question comes from Ludcroft. How do you feel that CD Projekt Red won't talk about Cyberpunk 2077 until 2017? Do you think they should announce it earlier? Announce it too early? A little bit weird wording there, but I'll do my best to answer that. I'm okay with it. I have no problem with CD Projekt Red waiting until 2017 to announce their game, because technically speaking, they're still working on Witcher. They've got the expansions they have planned out. CD Projekt Red aren't a developer that rushes their games. They take it easy. They don't rush their games. Even Witcher 3 took 3 years, I think, if memory serves me. They take their time with their games, so I have no problem with them saying, look, we're going to announce the game when we'll announce it. Deal with it. And I respect them for that, and I'm not going to tell them otherwise. I'm not going to say to them, oh, but I want to hear about the game now. I respect them. I will be patient. I will wait and see. And that's why I say to people, be patient. Wait and see. Have they let us down yet? No. So deal with that. Wait. Patiently. Sheesh. What do you want? Another Assassin's Creed Unity? Deal with it, please. But in all honesty, just be patient. I will happily wait until 2017 to hear what they have about the game. And not really a silly question. Couldn't think of any. But what are the worst voice actors you've heard from a video game? I don't recall. I do my best to forget bad actors, voice actor or otherwise. But I'm trying to think off the top of my head of a really bad voice acting performance that I've heard in a video game. I try and blank them from my memory in all honesty, so I can't really remember any off the top of my head. I don't think I can actually answer this because I can't think of any off the top of my head that were awfully bad because I try and go, nope, didn't happen. Sorry. So yeah, sorry I can't answer it. I also can't think of any horrible voice actors that off the top of my head. I do apologise for that. Beyond some celebrity voice actors who should not be voice acting in a way, but whatever. Okay, we'll actually come to the last set of questions now. The next question is from Aluka Tibas. Would you like a CD Witcher game? We already have it. It's called Witcher 3. We play a CD at some elements. There, we've got a CD Witcher game. There, sorted. And greetings from Costa Rica. Greetings, my friend from Costa Rica. I apologise if this accent offends you. Silly question. Who is your best pro? Iorveth or Roach? Now, in my current playthrough of The Witcher 3, I sided with Iorveth in Witcher 2, mainly because of Saskia. I actually really liked Saskia's character. I won't spoil the events of The Witcher 2 for anyone, but I really love Saskia's character. I absolutely love it, and she's pretty much the only reason I go with Iorveth, because I like that story a little bit better than I do the Roach side of things. That being said, I like Roach. He is my brother. I'd have to say Roach is my brother over Iorveth, but at the same time, I like Iorveth. I like where Iorveth takes me with Saskia and all that. I like where that goes. I like that story a little bit better than the other side. That's why that's probably my canon one, in all honesty. But that's just me. So, yeah, Roach is my bro, but Iorveth, I go with him. Okay, so the next question comes from Shimmick. First question: what did you think about the Twitter outage Twitter outrage over Age of Ultron? Now, this depends on what you're talking about. Now, I think I'm going to split the video here, actually. So, I will see you all where I answer that question in part 2, because that's going to be a long answer. See you then.